Okay, guys, welcome back. This is going to be a leveling myths and facts deal here. I've been tearing apart the game recently, really enjoying it, but learning little every mechanic that I can. And XP and leveling has definitely been a big one because this is one that there's a lot of hearsay on. And I definitely learned some stuff, and uh, some of the stuff that I thought was right was definitely wrong. But let's get started here, folks. I have a very interesting video for you guys today. So to start off, guys, this right here, these two slots don't matter, but all these other slots actually matter and determines your XP when you're fishing up on, when you're fishing. So if you put on an 87-pound leader, it will lower your XP. Now, that being said, it doesn't give you the XP as if you catching it with an 87 pull. It seems to average all these out. Average these four out to like an average number, then give it to you. Because it didn't demolish me when I put a huge leader on it. But it definitely did lower it. And the same when I put my leader back to the 15 pounds and then tried the line. It lowered it, but it didn't demolish it on it didn't give me the XP for an 80-pound pole when I put really heavy braid on it. So I just want to show that off because that's very interesting. I thought it would if I put for example, when I did my reel, I put a 46-pound reel on this, and I thought it would give me the XP basically for catching it with an 87 or 46-pound pole. It did not. It seemed to average it out. This is actually pretty well known, but I do want to mention it. Make sure if you are worried about XP, anytime you can use barbless versions of things, whether it is lures or tackle, go ahead and use it. It will give you a 20% bonus to your XP. As you can see, I actually do use barbless gear. One thing that I've heard quite a bit is if you look at these two pictures in the background that are pretty similar fish caught with the exact same pole, is that boats do hurt your XP slightly, and that is not true. As you can see, these are very comparable fish, and that was not the case at all. You get the same XP from a boat as you do on land. Another myth is, as you can see in these two pictures, this is a 70-pound setup on a unique arapaima of the same size as basically the one in the second one. The first screenshot is a 70-pound setup. The second setup is a 24-pound setup. And as you can see, the 24-pound setup does not give you any more additional XP. So the important thing is getting your 3 arrows, green arrows, and if once you get them, that's all you're going to get. Using a littler pole even past that is not going to help you out at all, guys. The difference between the 3 green arrows and 3 red arrows is actually a fair amount. If you have 3 red arrows, you are actually only getting roughly just under 50% of your XP that you would have gotten with 3 green arrows. That being said, you would think, oh, you're going to actually get more XP with 3 green arrows. And there's an interesting thing I found out and tested, and I'm going to show you that right now here, guys. We are here with a jig winner set up here that I'm going to be comparing heads up. You can check it out if you want. It's a pretty good balanced pull. And we're going to be comparing it directly to an overkill pole, like oversized. This is an 88. I kind of have a hunch, but I want to see if I'm right. I think my guess is that you're actually losing XP using the correct, or if you're worried about 3 arrows. So you don't want to go smaller than this pole because you wouldn't be able to get fish in for sure here in Michigan. And you don't want to go bigger if you're worried about XP on one pole, because this actually only gets normal XP, as you'll see in this cut, off of a normal pike. and it gets 3 arrows and double arrows on trophy pike. That being said, here I did the 5 to 6 a.m. hour here, and the 5 to 7 a.m. hours, 2 hours, sorry, in the morning, and I did the 5 p.m. or the 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. In the evening, and so it added up to an hour real time, 4 hours in game, and this is what I got here, and we are gonna see what our and um, XP and money was for the day. And then I'm going to go ahead and fish with the other pole. And our XP and money was 5,000 and 15,000. Okay, and we are back. And as you can see, it's with a Fire Zeus. And the reason for that is this pole could not throw it far enough where I wanted it. So I just went with the Zeus instead, which is another big rod that does obviously pretty darn well at catching these at 46 pounds. But one thing I want to mention, guys, here is if you're wondering why I'm using the casting spoon, it was so that I could throw it on both poles so that there wasn't a difference there. The difference wasn't what lure I was using, so I want to make sure I use the exact same lure. They're both spinning rods, and actually both of them I use 2-speed stop and go. And actually fish the same times. If you see the weather here, this is the same weather, and this hour was definitely better. I feel like my hunch is right. We're going to see here in a second, but I feel like that using a little pole doesn't actually help you. It kind of actually hurts you because you're catching less fish, and more fish will make up for the arrows on your XP bar. So let's go ahead and let's see if that is true. And we had 5,000 and 15,000. Yeah, absolutely. So we had more XP and double money, guys. Also worth mentioning that that actually probably gets even worse too if you're using a smaller pole instead of a pole that can just get the job done when you have a rod stand, because when you're also fighting that fish for a while, all these poles you're going to miss too as well on your rod stand. So that's something to think about as well. One thing worth mentioning too is there is sometimes the game gives you a penalty if the fish is caught close to you and there is no fight. As you can see here, this is the jig winner. On the normal setup, this would have been 3 arrows, but I caught him close. Now, one thing to mention here, guys, this isn't super consistent. Sometimes the game doesn't seem to read once in a while that you're super close and doesn't give you the penalty for it. The one thing that's going to really help you out, guys, and I want to make sure I mention this, is having super good balanced pulls and getting the most out of them that you can. I may actually make a guide on how to do that. And as you see here in this picture, this is about the lowest I do my setups. I try to get the most I can out of all my setups, that being the lowest part of my threshold. And believe it or not, that's actually a picture of a 3 hour and 40-minute real-time, real-life fight with a Arapaima that I did a video on last week. Also, want to say real quick too that this is just a guide to help you be efficient with experience. If you don't really care about experience, or you have your own way of doing it that works for you, then keep going with it, guys. I just wanted to show you the mechanics behind this and to help you out and maybe get some more knowledge out there on it, because I've heard a lot of kind of crazy stuff. I think a lot of people in this position are going for XP only, when really their XP route is to use a bigger rod that doesn't give you as much XP per fish, but actually gives you more fish to cover that and more. That being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this guide. There was a lot of work into it, and I've been having a lot of fun putting these extra efforts into these guides of the mechanics or the farming and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. And we'll see you next time, folks.